Hello book lovers, welcome to the Bookmarkers with Victoria Oderinde on Pen TV. Today I'll be reviewing Leadership Gold by John Maxwell. Yes, this 254 pages book is filled with wisdom. The 26 chapters in this book are filled with valuable nuggets you will love. The first chapter is titled, "If it is lonely at the top, then you are doing something wrong." Let's get into the book. Yes, if it is lonely at the top, then you are doing something wrong. As a leader, you are leading your followers. The author says that leadership is not a positional thing, it is a relational thing. Relationship in the sense that you are the leader, you are leading your followers. You are not just a boss, like in position, okay, because you are the head of a department or something, so you are the boss. That is just positional. But that doesn't, the fact that you are in a position does not make you a leader. But as a real leader, you are leading some followers. That is what makes you a leader. When you are leading people, you are a leader. Now, leadership is a relational thing. So if it is a relational thing, then you should go with your followers. You should move forward with your followers. That way, by the time you get to the top, it will not be lonely. Because as you are moving forward, as you are moving high, your followers are following you. You are leading people into success. As you are being successful, your followers are successful. So when you get to the top, you will not be lonely. It will not be lonely. You will have successful people who are your followers at the top with you. So people say that when you get to the top is lonely. People that are successful and lonely and all. But if you are pulling people with you as you move forward, if you are leading your followers with you, when you go together, it says you should go together. When you go together, you feel that it will not be lonely at the top. And then the author says that nobody is really self-made. Nobody is really self-made. You need people to contribute to your success. There's no great leader out there who has been successful alone. You need people's effort to be successful. So when you need people, why don't you just help people grow as you grow? That way, it will not be lonely at the top. Let's go to the next chapter. The next chapter is titled, "The toughest person to lead is yourself." The toughest person to lead is yourself. As a leader, before you lead your followers, you need to lead yourself. You need to lead yourself well to be able to lead others well. Now, if you don't lead yourself well, it will reflect on your leadership, on the way you lead others. Now, how do you lead yourself? You lead yourself by getting to know yourself. That's the first thing. The first thing is you need to get to know yourself. You need to get to know your weakness, your strengths. You need to know who you are. Get to know yourself. Then another thing is you need self-discipline. Self-discipline. It is very easy to tell people you need to do this, you don't need to do this. At this time, you shouldn't be doing this. You should have a specific time for play. You should have a specific time for social media and all. Are you doing it? As a leader, be able to discipline yourself. You lead yourself. In fact, if you are leading yourself, you are a leader. Just like one of his books, The 360-Degree Leader. It talks about leading from the rear, leading from every angle, whether you are at a top position or you are just in the middle management or you are just someone just coming into any organization. You can be a leader. Good. But in this chapter, it's even saying before you lead, even from that position you are presently in, you need to learn to lead yourself. You are the leader of your life. You are the leader of the community of your life. So you need to develop self-discipline after knowing yourself. No, okay, I know that I love this and it is not good, then I will stop this. So after getting to know yourself, you need to develop self-discipline. Another thing you should do is seek advice. Seek advice. Then it says that most times when you're starting out to seek advice, most times you ask people for feedback. You ask people for feedback. You ask them, okay, I have done this. What do you feel? That is, you're just starting. Then later you will graduate into being accountable. So much that you tell people, I want to gym for 10 days, and then there's someone you report to. You report yourself to. Accountability. Accountability is very important in leading yourself. Now, to get to another position, another level in which you'll be able to seek advice even before taking actions. It's not until you have taken your actions you ask for feedback. It will be that even before you take actions, you tell people that are well-meaning, people like your mentors, people you can seek advice from, and you ask them for advice. Then you pick the advice the advice given to you, and you utilize the advice given to you. So you need to work on yourself, lead yourself. Your life is a community in which you can start your leadership skill. Lead yourself. It's when you lead yourself well that you can lead others well. Because if you don't lead yourself well, it will reflect on the way you lead others. For example, if you are the type that lose focus all the time, like easily, you look for focus easily. It is very easy to pass it on to your followers. It will rub off on your leadership. It will rub off on your followers. So you need to lead yourself well to be able to lead others well. Okay, let's go to another chapter. Another chapter is titled, When You Get Kicked in the Rear, Know That You Are in Front. I'll take that again. When you get kicked in the rear, know that you are in front. It's just like what they say, that when people backbite you, know that you are in front. Know that those people are behind you. That is the reason it's possible for them to backbite you. So in the same way, when you get kicked in the rear, that means you are in front. Some people are behind you. That's the reason they can kick you from the rear. So as a leader, most times everybody enjoy the praise aspect of leadership. When your team is able to pull off something, when your team is able to pull off a project, people hail you. You'll be the one called to give speech, to talk about how you are able to pull the project through and all. The leader enjoys the praise. But if you are able to enjoy the praise, know that you should be just expect criticism. Expect criticism. People will criticize you. Criticism and praise goes hand in hand. So as a leader, just have the mindset that criticism will come. The author mentions Moses in the Bible. He led the people of Israelites from Egypt. Now, he did so many great things, and we're still talking about him today. But then he was criticized. Not because he's not a good leader, but it is because criticism is part of leadership. Except you don't want to be great. We will be great in life. Except just start expecting criticism. Expect criticism. Now, what are those things you have to do? What are the action points? The first thing is just what I have said. Have the mindset that criticism will come. Criticism will come. Now, when criticism comes, what are the things you need to do? The first thing you need to do is you need to know you need to recognize who is criticizing you. After that, you need to check how is this person criticizing you, and then you need to check why this person is criticizing you. The how, the who, the how, and the why. Now, check who is criticizing me. Is it that this person is well-meaning, this person loves me and wants me to change? Or this person is just someone that has trouble with everybody, or is having trouble with everybody? So you need to check who is criticizing you. Now, then you move to how this person has criticized you. Has this person criticized you to spite you, or this person has criticized you to make you change? Has this person giving you the benefit of doubt, and the person has criticized you in such a way that you will want to improve on yourself? Or is it that this person purposely made the criticism a public one so that your followers will desert you and all? So you need to recognize how the criticism has been made. And another thing is why is this person saying this? Is it that the person wants me to change? Like I said earlier, is it that the person wants me to change, or this person just wants to demean my credibility? Or the person wants my followers to desert me, or the person wants me to feel downcast, or the person really wants me to change and get better. So you need to recognize the how, the who, and the why of criticism, and have the mindset that criticism will come. It is part of leadership. Another chapter of the book is titled Never Walk a Day in Your Life. You feel? So I should be playing every day of my life. Okay? The author is talking about passion. Do what you love doing. Do what you love doing. When you do what you love doing and you make a job out of it, you make it something that people will want to pay you for, you will not work a day of your life. To be fun. Working will be fun to you. So it's talking about what you're passionate about. What you're passionate about. Not just the talent. Some people have talent, like 10 talents, like 5 talents. They can do so many things very well. Now, which one are you so much passionate about? Like you can do for free. You can do it free of cost. Now, that thing you can do very well. Or those things you can do very well. Make sure you get you get to know them. You get to do them very well, so much that people want to pay you to do it for them. That way, you work with fun. Work with something that you love doing. So just do what you love doing. Love what you do, but not just love what you do what you love doing. Then in terms of his personal story, he loves building congregation. He's a pastor. He loves building a small congregation. There was a time he got into a very small community. The very first time they had service, it was he and his wife. Only his wife attended, just the two of them. And because he's passionate about building a congregation, was able to move around the community, invite people to church. And then there was a time he announced to the church that they're going to have 300 members in church the following Sunday. 300 people in church the following Sunday. Then he told them that they should go ahead and invite people. And then in the history of that church, they've never been very many. Everybody was shocked. Like the church members were shocked. Like it is not possible to have up to 300 people in attendance. But then, because he's so passionate about, even his church members went about telling people, inviting people and all. The following Sunday, most people, everybody in the community already know that the new pastor wants 300 people to come to church, and then they want to see if it is possible, if it is something that they will achieve. Then each person comes to see if the pastor would be able to have 300 members, attendees in the church that day. Before he started preaching, the lay reader, the lay announcer, announced that they had 299 attendees on the church that day. So he said, how many people do we want in church? Everybody chorused 300. Then he said, it means how many people? Everybody chorused 1 person. And he told them that instead of him to preach, I will go out there and invite 1 more person so that they would meet the target. And the whole church was happy. He went out, but luckily for him, he was able to meet 2 people and was able to convince them to church. By the time he returned with 2 more people, the church was happy and all. Now, it's just because it is his passion. You know, a pastor may just get to that kind of community. Someone coming from a larger community may get to that kind of community and feel, hey, it's only me and my wife that will be in the church. What is this? Where do we want to go from here? And then the person will be discouraged. Now, because that is his passion, that is what he does. He has passion for building a congregation for God. It is something he does naturally. It's something he enjoys doing. He was not discouraged by the number of people who started with him. From 2 people, that is himself and his wife, the church grew up to 300 within a little period of time, and then it kept moving on. So try to identify as a leader, try to identify what you love doing most, and then develop that thing so much that people can pay you for it. That way you will not be working you'll be doing what you love. Another chapter is titled, Don't Send Your Dogs to Eagle School. Don't send your dogs to Eagle School. What does that mean? It's an analogy between a duck and an eagle. Ducks swim. They swim easily and they swim very well. They swim excellently. Then eagles soar high in the sky. They soar effortlessly. They are always happy to soar and all. John Maxwell is saying that people have different capabilities. There are some people that can follow instructions to the letter. There are some people that can make plans for others to follow. There are some people that no matter how well you motivate them, they won't be motivated. And there are some people you just need to speak. You just need to speak and just say a sentence, and then they will be motivated to want to do things. Like there's a story of a wealthy man who told a congregation that, hey, I read this book. A very wealthy man saying that I read this book, and this book has taught me what to do to get wealthy. And then the people in the congregation, that some of them that will still not buy the book, that will not look for the book to read. But there will be some of them that will look for the book to read. It is because we have different kinds of people. Now, as a leader, you'll be leading different kinds of followers. You need to fix your followers. Look at us. You need to know the strengths of your followers and then place them at the appropriate positions. Let them do what they can do best. Now, it says that if you send your dog to an eagle school, you frustrate the dog. You will frustrate the eagle, you frustrate yourself. Because the dog will just be trying to soar, to fly, to soar, to fly. And the dog won't be able to do that. Now, the eagles will be frustrated like, soar now, Soar. Just spread your wings and fly. You are a bird, I am a bird. But because the duck is not made to soar, the eagle will be frustrated. And even the eagle, if the eagle wants to swim like a duck, the eagle, it will not be, since it is not something the eagle is caught out for, the eagle will be frustrated. And you, the leader, trying to motivate the duck to soar, you will be frustrated. And you, the leader, trying to bring down the eagle from soaring, trying to limit the eagle from soaring and telling the eagle to swim, you'll be frustrated. So to avoid frustrations, you need to know the peculiarities of your followers and let them function in their capability. Let them function where they fit in best. I'll be reading from the book. Author, pastor, and Dallas Theological Seminary Chancellor Charles Swindoll illustrates this principle in his book Growing Strong in the Seasons of Life when he writes. So I'll be reading the story now. Once upon a time, the animals decided they should do something meaningful to meet the problems of the new world, so they organized a school. They adopted an activity curriculum of running, climbing, swimming, and flying. To make it easier to administer, all the animals took all the subjects. The duck was excellent in swimming. In fact, it was better than his instructor was. However, he made only passing grades in flying and was very poor in running. Since he was so slow in running, he had to drop swimming and stay after school to practice running. This caused his webbed feet to be badly worn, so he became an only average in swimming. But average was quite acceptable. Therefore, nobody worried about it except the duck. The rabbit started at the top of his class in running. You know rabbits can run. But developed a nervous twitch in his leg muscles because he has so much makeup work to do in swimming. Another animal. The squirrel was excellent in climbing, but he encountered constant frustration in flying because his teacher made him start from the ground up instead of from the treetop down. He developed scoliosis from over-exertion, so he only got a C in climbing and a D in running. The eagle was a problem child. You know, the eagle now was a problem child and was severely disciplined for being a non-conformist. In climbing classes, he beat all the others to the top, but he insisted on using his own way of getting there. He swore to the top. He does not climb. So now we get to know that the different capability of different animals. When you force people to do things they are not capable of, something God has omitted in their life, something God did not put in their life, don't let me say omission, but something God did not create them with, when you force them to do it, they can only be an average person there, and then they will not function well. They will not be able to develop their natural ability. So as a leader, you need to know the capability of your followers and let them function where they belong. Let them do what they can do best. Let's move to another chapter, and this chapter is titled Keep the Best Thing in Mind. Keep the best thing in mind. Keep your mind on the main thing. Now, this chapter is dedicated to focus. You need to keep your mind on the major thing. You need to focus on the right thing. It talks about the parental principle that says that 80% of things, 80% of what is happening, of important things, are done by just 20%. What does that mean? 80% of traffic happens on just 20% of roads. 80% of rich people in a community comes from just the 20% of the population of that community. 80% of the activities that matters in your life will come from just 20% of all the activities you are supposed to do for a day, you are supposed to do in your life. So now you need to look at those 20% things that are more important, that can give you 80% effect, and do those things first. So when you know that, okay, you want to achieve, you have a project you want to achieve, what are those things that are very important for you to do to achieve those things? Do those very important things first. Even if you are not able to do the less important things, because you have done the most important things, you will still have tangible results. And that is the reason when you are as a leader, it is best you focus on the most important things. Do those things first. Do the most difficult things there. Do the most important things first with your time, because that is what will have the greater effect. Then let's go to another chapter. People create people, not complaints. People create people, not complaints. Now, when people create your company, create you, or you believe they create your company or your department, try to do an exist interview. Try to interview them and get to know what is happening. Most times people don't just leave a company because they just want to leave. It is either because they have relational issues with you or one of their colleagues, or they feel less valued and all. So as a leader, you need to work on yourself and your relational skills. Make sure that you value people, you place value on your followers, and then they will want to follow you. Place value on your followers. Do exist interview. Whoever is resigning under you, or whoever is leaving your church, whoever is, it depends on the capacity where you are leading. Whoever is leaving you, interview the person. Get to know the reason the person is leaving, so that you can work on yourself or you can work on your team. So value people. Do exist in interview. Get to know people. And another thing is, don't shatter people trust in you. Be consistent. Let people trust you, because trust is just like a mirror. When you break the mirror, no matter how well you are able to bring the pieces of the mirror together, and you are able to glue the mirror together, the pieces together, it will still not give you the perfect image. When you look at it, it will still not give you the perfect image. So the trust that your followers have put in you, do not disappoint them. So I would just say this, the last chapter is people will summarize your life in one sentence. Pick it now. It should just be one sentence, so you can pick up what you want your life to be now and start living your life with that sentence, with like your mission statement, like your vision, name it, whatever it is. Pick who you want to be and start living by it now as a leader. So next week I'll be reviewing another good book. So if you don't have time to read, you are busy and all, don't worry, just tune in to Pen TV and watch the bookmarkers. I'll be giving you the salient points in the books I have read. And please subscribe, like, subscribe, and whatever it is you've been able to learn from this book review, let me know in the comment box. See you next time.